Who's inspired you and influenced you during your career, Leigh?
I think I started off, as I say, in Atlas Copco, and it was the people around me. I worked, having reflected on it, I worked with some really, really good people at Atlas Copco. I'll drop some names, but there was a guy called Pete Jones who taught me how to be a good engineer. So that got me started. And then I worked up into a sort of a manufacturing section head role. A guy called Tony Murphy, who used to be at Atlas Copco, he's now independent as a consultant. He taught me a lot about people management and how to treat a team, how to lead a team. Then from there, I went into the project management role, and Ian Keach, who's the vice president of scientific instruments, I think his title is now, at Atlas, he taught me so much about leadership, about creating a challenge, a proactively challenging mindset, and again a bit more about how to lead people. And all the while I had a mentor there, Ian Stones, who's a director of technology, who was just inspirational in every possible way. His work ethic, his ability, his professionalism, and I think once I left Atlas Copco, I became a little bit more self-sufficient, and sought my own mentors from external sources. I've always have, but I did even more reading and listening to perhaps leadership authors and self-development authors. David Marquet is a leadership guru, but just probably the best of his kind in my opinion. Also some sports leadership authors. Like I said, personal development, about training your mind. More recently, I've started to look at sort of celebrity or political biographies, because I think you can learn a set of tools from a leadership author, but then you're started to think about how perhaps big political historical figures think. So I've read Michelle Obama's book. I'm listening to Barack Obama's current book that he's just released, and then some of his back catalogue. So I'm trying to get inspiration from people like that these days, as opposed to learning ever more tools. It's more about the mindset that these people have. And yeah, every car journey is Audible is on. And every night before bed is as many pages as I can handle, without falling asleep on a long line of books.
What's your favourite?
Definitely Turn the Ship Around, from a leadership with David Marquet, leadership style. I'm really enjoying Barack Obama's latest book. Just from how on earth does one person handle such a complex set of problems? You know, I can be saying, well, I'm a Jaguar Land Rover and I'm working across 5 car lines, but I'm not making life or death decisions, really. It's just in a whole nother league. But I'm sort of the opinion that if he's done it, then it's doable. It's about, can you isolate what it was about him that means that he was able to do it, and then perhaps could you embody and embrace and train some of that in yourself? That's one of the reasons I read these things, because it's obviously doable. You've just got to figure out how to do it, and that's where it's interesting for me.
Yeah, I am exactly the same. So Audible, I reckon I could probably have got a job in Audible and made some very good money, the amount of people I've recommended Audible to.
Yes.
Because I'm
Right, okay.
absolutely obsessed with Audible. And you know, I've got all sorts of books from business, kind of, as you said, those personal development, where they're showing you kind of techniques to make your life better, or your work better, or your business better. And then, you know, I mean, for me, I work on my own. You know, I have, you know, people who work for me, but I'm running my business up, the buck stops with me. So you know, I don't always have like anyone to go and ask those questions to. But what I've really learned is surrounding yourself with good people as well, because you can't do it on your own. So, you know, I've got people who I've got a couple of business coaches who I dip into. My Audible, as you said, is always on. Yeah. And you know, but also personally, you know, I'm a parent and I'm learning lots of things from parenting books and business books. And you're right, you know, it's really good. Like Michelle Obama's on my Audible that I've been dipping in and dipping out of. So, you know, I think the more you know, it's all well and good to have skills, hard skills, and your soft skills that are your natural, like your curiosity, your personality, and all that kind of stuff. But in order to really improve, you've got to go wider, haven't you? You've got to kind of go broader in your approach. And I think people who constantly are improving themselves by listening and talking and, you know, getting on board help that they need in whatever capacity they need to, will always be, you know, able to progress their careers further, but also progress their lives in a more what's the word, kind of deeper and more fulfilling way, you know, both professionally and privately. I just think it's a really good thing. I'm not surprised that you do those things, Leigh, at all. I'm not surprised.
Who's your favourite out of interest?
Oh God! So when you said about sports, I was going to recommend to you Andrew Silito. Have you listened to Andrew Silito?
I've not, no.
So he's into leadership, but he's also does a lot of sports leadership. His book is on Audible, but he reads it, and I would say I found it more difficult to listen to that. But I find he does like a live chat on LinkedIn, which is really good and really engaging. The other one, who's the other one? I'm reading 7 Habits of Highly Effective People at the moment, which you've probably already read. I'm also quite into, she's a woman that runs things for women who have money blocks, and I've been listening to her as well. And she's really good. She's Australian. I'm big into Australians at the moment. I have an Australian business coach, and I have these ladies who are on, you know, I just like their voices. I think it's that laid back, kind of slightly chilled out approach. I'm quite into. So yeah, I will send you, because you know, when the name escapes you and you just think, what is the name of that person? So I'll send it to you via email so that you can have it. We can share.
I'm
like,
always
Audible listens.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant. I love Audible. God, I could talk about Audible all day. I think people get sick of me talking about it.